Hey everybody, welcome to Dave's Saturday Podcast for May 22nd, 2021. It's a Saturday here in Washington State where I still live, and I have drank a lot of water today. I've drank like at least half a gallon because I woke up with a headache. This is so sad. Let's get into how my week went. It was pretty garbage. I did not have a lot of fun this week on planet Earth. Let me just go through what I did. Well, let me start with Saturday. This is where it all began. Saturday, Ruslan comes over. Not like with Ruslan. Ruslan's great, right? It's cool that he came over. It's like within 20 minutes of Ruslan coming over, a filling fell out of my tooth. And that was very frustrating because you get a filling, you think it's supposed to fill your tooth forever, and it just falls out, and now I gotta go to the dentist without dental insurance, which I can't get right now because I'm quitting my job, so they probably won't let me on it. So probably should have thought about that ahead of time. It doesn't really matter now. So I'm gonna get that filled on Tuesday. Tuesday is when they set my appointment, so I'm going in 10 a.m. Tuesday, and I don't have to deal with this stupid hole in my tooth anymore. Every single time I drink a glass of water, I get intense pain because my tooth is like, oh shoot, this water's a little too close to the nerve, baby. Yeah, I know they freaking idiots because someone drilled a big chunk of my tooth out and then filled it, and now the filling is gone, and it's just not very fun, and it's been agonizing all week. Anyway, what I did with Ruslan after was fun. So, and this is pretty great. So we go out to the beach. And the beach that we go to is called Locust Beach. And Locust Beach has tides that are weird. High tide, it's like right by there's like a cliff wall by the beach. High tide is right by that wall. And low tide, you can literally walk a mile out before you get to the ocean. It's pretty cool. So we went at low tide. It was like coming up. So it was half low. So we walked about a half mile out to the water. And in the middle of the sand, like the beach that's the water's out, there was a frat party of like 50 people all playing beer pong, and it was pretty cool. And this guy came up to us after we were like done walking on the beach. He's like, hey man, you got a lighter? But we didn't have a lighter. And that's how I learned that these were frat guys, because this was definitely a frat guy. Also, he was just in his underwear. Excuse me, sir, have you heard of swim trunks? That's all I got to say about that. So we leave there. We're both starving. I've been dieting a lot. I'll get to that. And Ruslan lives in his car, and he doesn't eat very much. He doesn't like live in his car, but he chooses to live in his car, though he could be staying with his parents. It's like a cool thing, because what he does is he goes down to Portland. He goes down every weekend to surf. And then he comes back up and he just sleeps in his car, parks it somewhere. I think he might sleep at his parents during the week. I'm not totally sure. Anyway, he's a lot of fun. So he does that, and after we were at the beach, we went and we got a pizza each. And I've been dieting so hard. I've been sitting at like 1,200 calories a day, which is 1,500 below what I need because I've also been cycling a lot, which I will also get to later. And that means that I ate the entire pizza, and I was still hungry because my body is so deprived of nutrients that, well, I gained like half a pound of fat because I ate that pizza, but I lost it all like within 2 days. And then I took like the biggest dump on planet Earth. It was like half my intestines were emptied by this. It was like a snake. I don't know. The pipes didn't clog because it was like the perfect... I don't know. You guys don't need to know about my bowel movements, I'll be honest with you. So after that, he stays overnight. We watched The Godfather while we ate pizza. I should say that. We watched The Godfather while we ate the pizza, and then we went to bed. We woke up the next morning. We went on a walk, I think. We might have just gone and played tennis right away. I think we just went to play tennis. Played tennis for a couple hours, and then Ruslan went home. And that was how that went. And that was Sunday. Oh, we went to church before that. That's what I was missing. We went to church and then we did all that. Then I get home and I don't think I did much. I think I just kind of read a book and then went to bed because we played tennis for a while. And then I wake up the next morning and I have sunburn all over my back. And I told Ruslan to put sunscreen on my back. Ruslan put sunscreen on my back so poorly that there are handprints for where he kind of just slid his hand over to put some sunscreen on, and it's just red all on the sides of my back. So it's like there's this line on my spine where there's no sunburn, and on the sides there's like handprints and everything, and I'm completely burned. I wasn't wearing a shirt when I was playing tennis because, I've been working out, ladies. Yeah, so that was not fun at all, waking up to that. Monday was okay during the day, just dieting, still hungry. Oh, hey, Matt. Hey, my roommate's down here.
I was like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Anyone replying to you?
Recording my podcast, Matt. You want to be on my podcast?
Hey, what's up, podcast? Happy podcast.
That's Matt, my roommate. Drew was on a week or two
I'm Matt.
Drew
Like doormat, but two T's.
I had Drew on a week or two ago, and he was so uncomfortable. He hated it. I think if you go back, it's a couple weeks.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. So my Monday was pretty terrible because, I had a softball game in the evening, and it was cold and rainy, and we didn't have enough players, and it was painful and agonizing. And what made it more painful was I was playing the outfield, and this guy hits a ball right to me. I didn't even move, and the ball's falling down, and my glove is up, and I'm like, oh, I'm totally gonna catch this one, and it misses by a foot and just hits the ground. How did I screw up that bad? How did I screw up that bad? This is so sad, man. So that happened, and then my batting was terrible. It's usually great. I hit 3 ground outs. It wasn't to me. There was always a guy on first. So I hit a grounder to the second baseman. He just runs and tags the bag. And that was that. It was not fun at all. And we lost by 15, which is the run rule. So that wasn't fun either. Tuesday was better. I think I was just tired. I don't remember a lot from Tuesday. I think I ate a little bit better on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I dieted way too hard. I didn't even eat dinner. I drank a glass of milk for dinner, which was a terrible idea. I woke up and my stomach was in a lot of pain, so I ate breakfast. Then Thursday was a good day because I drank caffeine, and so caffeine, that got me through everything. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know what I'm saying. That was pretty great. And then Thursday, I don't have anything going on Thursday night, so I just got home, read a book, watched some TV, which I'll get to. Yesterday was not fun. Yesterday, Friday, I literally woke up, biked for 18 miles, got into bed, and watched TV until dinner. I am not ever going to do that again. That was torture. So basically my idea there was I just kept watching TV, and I don't want to watch TV anymore. So what I did is that thing where back in the 60s and 70s, if you didn't want your kids smoking cigarettes, or you caught them smoking cigarettes, you'd throw them in a closet with 2 packs of cigarettes, and you'd tell them they couldn't come out till they smoked them all. And they'd never smoke a cigarette again because there was just too much cigarette for them. It makes you sick and all that. So I tried to do a TV, and I think it worked because I don't want to watch TV anymore. I might watch a movie, though. Movies are fun. Not today, but I'm not doing anything today. Today, I'm going to play tennis with a friend and read and write some comedy. So it'll be a pretty easy day. I ate a little bit more for breakfast because I woke up with a headache. Oh, boy. I think it's just the stress of the tooth, and then I have some jaw pain. I've had it for a while, but I just got to adjust my pillow to fix that. What else? My car windows are not repairable. I looked them up. I guess what happens is the lining on the side of the windows gets gunked up, and then the gunk deteriorates the side of the windows, and then the windows just can't roll up anymore. So I thought it was going to cost like $500 to get a couple of our motors replaced. It looks like it'd be $2,200 to get the whole like frame that the windows are in replaced. So I'm just going to lodge the windows up. The back windows are fine because they weren't used as much. So a cop pulls me over, I just roll down the back windows and I'll be A-okay. A-okay. So I'm not concerned about it. It kind of saves me money, but that money's just going to be spent on my teeth now instead. So still moved to Texas with a lot of money, but not as much, which is fine. Yeah. Texas, I almost have a place lined up. This guy who owns a bunch of properties in Texas emailed me after I posted I was looking for a place on Craigslist, and looks pretty promising. Like, he said he'll give me options whenever he has places open up, so that sounds great to me. Sounds awesome. I've been cycling a lot, and that has been good for my cardiac health. Just, since I'm cycling, I'm healthier than everybody else now. I can't run as much. I get terrible shin splints, and I'm playing softball a lot, so I'll run during softball. But even that's kind of bothering my shins a little, so I'm just going to cycle until I move to Texas, and then I'll start running again. Which would be great, because it's definitely normal weather in Texas. Definitely not super hot there. Definitely not going to sweat my balls off the entire time I'm in Texas. Okay, I don't think there's much else for me to talk about. Oh, my roommate Caleb has gone on a trip. He went to Illinois with his girly friend. So cute. They both have family out in Illinois. And he's gone for 10 days. And I saw him just before he left. And I gave him a hug for 10 seconds. 1 second for every day. It was pretty nice. It was very loving. Very tender hug. So, yeah, that's that. Okay, now I'm going to... nobody asked questions, and that's fine. I'm going to find questions and answer them because I'm sick of my podcast being like 10 minutes. It needs to be 20 today. If it's not 20, then what's the point of listening, okay? Joe Rogan's is like 20 times 10, which I don't even think is an exaggeration. Like 200 minutes, I think might be a shorter podcast for him. And if I'm moving to Austin, I'm going to have to up my podcast game. So, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to use a random question generator to ask me questions. This will be interesting. First question. What was something that you ate regularly as a child, but now cringe at the thought of eating? I'm going to have to go with baby food. Man, when I was like 2 or 3, all I could eat was baby food. Man, now the thought of baby food is disgusting. I can't stand baby food anymore. Why? Because I'm not a baby. I don't know. I haven't had baby food since then. I'm scared to try. Unless applesauce counts, but I haven't eaten applesauce in at least 2 or 3 years. So, I'm going to have to go with baby food. Next question. What is the craziest, most outrageous thing you want to achieve? Man, I'm going to have to go with probably going on a date. Man, for me that's pretty crazy and outrageous because I'm so not attractive to women. Just kidding. Women think I'm so attractive that there's no way that they would be able to live with themselves because they were constantly having to keep up with my looks. I'm done with that bit because that's not true. The most outrageous thing I probably actually want to achieve is being a successful comedian because it's one thing to be a comedian. It's another thing to be a comedian that a lot of people like, and that's difficult. Do I think I could do it? I have no clue. We'll find out in like a few years. But who knows? Maybe I'll end up doing way better than I think. Maybe I'll end up doing worse than I think, which would mean I just don't perform. So if I'm just going to comedy clubs and performing, that's what I want to be doing, even if I don't get paid. Okay, my standards have dropped more and more because I don't want to get my hopes up. But the goal is to be a famous comedian. It's not like I'm going to hide that from anybody. So that would be it. That's why I'm making this podcast that 4 people listen to every week. And maybe that'll go up to 5 sometime in the near future, like when I move to Texas. Maybe. Next question. What movie was great when it came out, but hasn't aged well? I don't know. That's a tough question. Because I haven't seen enough movies to where I could really answer that. I don't know. All the movies that I like have aged well. I can't think of anything that hasn't because I don't watch. I'm like 24. So things that like have aged like a decade since I've seen them. And anything that came out in the 70s or 80s, I haven't seen. I've heard there are a lot of movies in the 70s and 80s that really didn't age well because of the way they portrayed race. But I can't think of any specifics. You know what? I haven't seen all of it. I only got the first 10 minutes. I'm going to go with Hercules, where Arnold Schwarzenegger played the lead role. I bet you haven't even heard of that movie because that movie was so trash. It was before Arnold Schwarzenegger knew how to act, but it was at its peak body. So basically, the whole reason to watch it is just because you want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger for 2 hours at his peak body. But it didn't age well because the movie sucked. So maybe it did age well because it equally sucks now. I don't know. The production quality was kind of crap too. Next question. What's the dumbest thing you've done that actually turned out pretty well? Moving to Washington. Oh my gosh. So moving to Texas is going to be so much easier because I have money in savings. When I moved to Washington, this will be a few minutes of a story, so after this I'll probably end the podcast. Here's the reasoning for moving to Washington. It was very little because of comedy, which very few people know because I was not happy with my reasoning to move here. My real reasoning was because I had quit a job doing computer work stuff. It was kind of like physical labor, though, and it was rough on my heart. So I quit because of that, and also it sucked. But it could have been dealt with, I think. I just don't know. I can't go back and try again. So I quit that job, and I have to go back and work at a coffee shop, and I'm really not happy about that. And the first month, I'm just not doing well at this job. I can't figure things out. They put me on the sandwich line. I was pretty desperate for a job, so I was just like, I'll do whatever. So I did whatever, and man, I remember screwing up so much that the manager pulled me aside my third week and it was like, hey man, you have got to figure out these sandwiches. Like if you need to study or something, otherwise we're not going to be able to keep you on. And that was not fun. So that's where I really started thinking about, man, I should just get out of Ohio because nothing in Ohio would go well for me. I had $2,000 something in savings when I made that decision. Then I posted on Craigslist, I'm looking for a place. I'm going to move to Bellingham. I got a message like, hey, we're looking for a tenant in our small house. $600 a month. And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds great. Took it. And then I just didn't do anything before I moved out to Washington. I think when I moved, I had $3,000 in savings, which would have been $3,500, but I had to pay for a repair on my car. And I go all the way out there, and I can't find a job for the first 2-3 weeks. Then I get a job seasonally working for a toy store in the mall, which did not pay well. $12 an hour. It was minimum wage, so $11.50 I think. But it was full time, so it kept me afloat so I could look for a better job, but I just couldn't find anything. And then that job ended, so I had to get a new job. So I went and I worked at Taco Bell. And Taco Bell, I couldn't deal with it. I worked at Taco Bell for 4 hours and then I quit because it was that bad. But I love Taco Bell still, somehow. I love their food. Just the corporate structure of how they treat their employees is bad. So there's that. And then 2 weeks later, I go in for an interview with Tony's Coffee, where I work now. I didn't think I would get that job to the point to where I was about to work at McDonald's because I didn't know what else to do. They call me and I get the job. And since then, everything has been perfect. I've saved up a big boatload of money so I can move to Texas now, which is great because I can't really do comedy out here. But now I really want to do comedy. That's what's changed. This story might be a little shoddy, but I hope you got the gist of it, that basically moving out here was the worst decision I ever made in my life, but somehow it worked out because I got a good job. Yeah, so it's the dumbest thing I did that turned out pretty well. Okay, well that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening for 20 minutes. I did 20 minutes. I'm pretty happy. I mean, 10 more minutes and that would just be ad reads, and I've got like a solid, good podcast. So I'm pretty proud of this episode. I'm gonna go play tennis later with my good friend Sam, who used to be my roommate. Yeah. I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. This is David Farmer signing off.